hmm the civil or military? Yeah. hmm the police department? Yes. Could have enforced fraud laws? Yeah. hmm But they didn't want to do that. No. Make you look bad. hmm And the thought was, well, if we do, yeah, you're going to get sued and go to prison. So you decided to involve the rest of the world, thinking that, well, he talks a big talk, yeah, but I actually documented fraud, felony, forgery, yes, abuse of authority, hate crimes, malicious harassment, ooch. The state involving themselves in the petition for dissolution of marriage without the actual dissolving of the marriage is an abuse of the state, yes, to try to intimidate me into the idea, yes, that I'm going to have you put in jail if you don't pay your child support. Now, this is a very abusive state. You've arrested me numerous crimes knowing that I hadn't committed any crime. Yeah. And then you didn't want to exonerate me of any wrongdoing when you had the actual evidence. Yes. And then there was this thought that, well, as long as we refuse to enforce the laws, yes, um, it won't really affect anybody else in the world. We can just conceal all of this. Yes. Now, I'm one of these that has been emailing the Army, the Navy, yes, the Pentagon. And they thought, well, because of Posse Comitatus, we can't really tell them how to run their military. But as I remember the Pentagon, yes, I kind of wanted it for myself. Yeah. It's octagonal, and a lot of people say, well, it's a five-pointed star, as if they were worshiping the devil there. Yes. But we have what's known as the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. Yes. hmm See, police brutality and hate crimes are involved in this. Yes. And then that means local means county, city, town, township, parish, village, or other general purpose political subdivision. The term state includes the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and any other territory of possession of the United States. Yes. Now, when it involves police brutality, yes. This violence against myself, yeah. hmm hmm I think that the military has an obligation to prevent any police department from being violent. Yes. hmm And the thought of their criminal investigative division, yeah, having any knowledge of these hate crimes, of saying I was in Sequim, Washington when I wasn't, saying that I was in Jefferson County when I wasn't, the use of fraudulent mental health evaluations, right? The obstruction of my use of my own personal identity, the holding of my sons hostage, yes, and then the involuntary servitude of your dissolution of marriage. Now, I don't think it's getting any better for those that are civil or military. I really don't. Yes. Support for criminal investigations and prosecutions by state, local, and tribal law enforcement officials. Yeah. At the request of the state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies, the Attorney General may provide technical, forensic, prosecutorial, or any other form of assistance in the criminal investigation of the prosecution of any crime that constitutes a crime of violence. Yeah. Constitutes a felony under state, local, or tribal laws. And, is motivated by prejudice based on the actual or perceived race, color, religion, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, gender identity, yes, or disability of the victim, or is in violation of state, local, or tribal hate crime laws. Yes. Now, I documented these hate crimes of the false police report, the false imprisonment, yes, the fraudulent mental health evaluations, right, the Brady laws, yes, yes, yes. And you thought, well, it's better to involve more people in more lawsuits because Now, these brutal police departments, yes, that just think that, well, since I have a badge on, I'm going to arrest you today. Yes, because I'm annoying. Isn't that right? Yeah. Well, um, I'm being victimized. My sons are being kept from me. Yeah. You've enslaved me to your fraud of court orders. Yes. You have accused me of domestic violence and child abuse without any jurisdiction of law. Yeah. My arrest and court record was expunged. Yes. You have conspired against me being able to sue you. Yes. And you're refusing to acknowledge the amendments of the United States Constitution. Now, I want you to realize something. I like trillion-dollar innovations. Yes. Where I can step into Germany. Yeah. And I can make them buy what I have to sell. Now, these little salt generators that I documented, yeah, they're a lot more expensive than they used to be. See, when I look at what they paid for the generators that they installed, yes, considering inflation, yeah, and then I look at my replacing all of those, how long they'll last, yes, how fast they are, yes, and how much electricity they produce, and then how long they'll be able to sell that electricity, yes, and then whom will pay for that, yeah, and the inflation predictions of the cost of the electricity, approximately 30 to 50 years from now, because they're all recyclable. Yes. I mean, I can actually recycle the generator itself. Yes. Yes. They're $1 trillion. Oh, now Germany will say I don't have any money. Oh, then I'll look through their natural resources, all the entities that are owned by the German government. Yeah. And I'll say, well, I'll trade you. Yeah. You can buy right now what I have to sell. In exchange for what I'm selling you, yes, I will take control of the German national utilities, yes, the post office, the telephone service, yes, and any and all life.